Hi guys, and welcome to today's video where I'm going to be adding the finished floor to my DIY sauna build. And what you can see me doing now is adding some timber battens to the existing subfloor. So these battens are going to create a slope that's going to run towards a central drain. And the way that I'm doing this is very simple. So the outer battens started at around 30 millimeters. There's some packers under that top one. I believe they were 25, and then I used 5mm packers, and then we kind of dropped around 5mm down each batten. So the next batten would be 25. The next batten after that was around 20, 15, and then as we got down to the actual drain itself, we got down to about 10mm. And as you can see, these are just squares that kind of get smaller and smaller as they move in, and what this is going to do is going to create a really nice consistent slope all the way down to that hole. Once we've got the timber down, I'm going to be adding a kind of screed in between the timber, and that's going to give us a really nice solid slope all the way through the floor. So the mix that I'm using here is a combination of sharp sand, standard cement. I've got some cement fibers which are going to add strength to the mix, and then the water that I'm adding is mixed with SBR, and again that's going to add some extra waterproof to this layer of the floor. Okay, so it is just a really simple case of getting this in the wheelbarrow and just mixing it all together, slowly adding the liquid element, and just kind of getting to a point where I'm happy with the consistency of the mix. So obviously I'm doing this by hand. If you do have access to a mixer, that would make things a lot easier, but for a small amount like this, if you don't have one, mixing it by hand is perfectly acceptable. And you can see now the consistency of this, it's kind of got like a wet sand consistency, and for me this is exactly what I was going for. I didn't want it too dry, but at the same time I didn't want it really wet, because it would have just made the job just a lot more awkward in my opinion. This consistency just made spreading it out and getting a nice smooth finish that much easier. What I will mention as well here is I'm using a plastering trowel to spread it out, and the plastering trowel is just slightly wider than the gap between the timbers, which actually made this part of the job really easy, because I could run the trowel just along the top of the timbers, and that was the way I created a really nice flat finish. So whilst this may look in some way skilled, I can assure you it is not at all. This is not something that I would typically do in any kind of day job that I've ever worked in. And yeah, it was just a case of the tools fitting the job really well, and it actually was quite simple to do. So you can see here, I'm just going to work my way out of the room backwards, and once that's done, I can show you the finished job. So this is what it's going to look like once this is all done, and as you can see, it's looking pretty smooth and it's all sloping nicely down to that middle central point. Following this, I've gone and picked up some Aquapanel from my local builders merchant. This is a type of board designed specifically for wet rooms, shower areas, areas that are going to be tiled or have some kind of waterproof finish on them. So the boards themselves are already waterproof to an extent, and they're a cement-based board, so they're actually quite easy to work with. Similar to plasterboard, obviously the actual composition is a little bit different, but in terms of workability, cutting them and things like that, they're very similar to plasterboard. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing here is I'm just going to be cutting around the door casing there a little bit. I'm also going to cut it so it lands exactly in the center of the room. So you're going to see me cutting a little bit off here, and then I'm going to cut around the drain. And the final thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to cut diagonally. So where you can see the square battens on the floor, the sloping battens, what we want to do is we want to kind of run our cut down where the corners of those battens meet up, and what that's going to do is it's going to stop any voids underneath the board. So you can see the first two down there, and I'm going to mark up the other side, and then when I go cut this in half in a second, you'll actually see this going down in two parts. So we've got the first bit there and then the second bit there. Now once these are down, it's just a case of fixing it down. I got some specialist screws designed specifically for this type of paneling. So I would recommend using the right type of fixings for the job. Obviously you could just use standard screws, but the question is, are they going to hold up over time? These are designed for this exact type of situation. So I just went with what was recommended. And in terms of fixing, I would say try and get a fixing every sort of 150 millimeters. And obviously we're going to be fixing into those timber battens that are in the floor below it. So it's pretty straightforward. Just use a straight edge, like a level that I'm using there, just to kind of mark onto the boards. And you know, it's really easy to hit those timber battens and get a really good fixing through this board. So once we've done that side, I'm just going to clean all the dust up, and then we can fix down the final two pieces in exactly the same way. So as you see, this whole process really is not that complicated. The hardest bit really is just getting the cuts right. Obviously you want to get the cut around the drain just right, and any other little bits that you need to just cut around. But you can see how this looks once it's done. And I can tell you now, this is absolutely solid. It slopes perfectly down to that central drain. And you can see I've actually cut out a little hole as well that our drain fitting is going to fit in later on in the job. Okay, so once that's done, I'm going to start filling all the gaps, and for this I'm using a cement-based waterproofing system that's designed specifically for this type of application, and I'm applying this in two different layers. The first one here, that I'm adding scrim tape down all the joints and applying a thick paste just basically to any gaps, holes, all the screw holes. You'll notice I've added a kind of skirting around the edge again, that is Aquapanel, so any gaps that are on that. The goal here with this application is just to completely fill any gaps, and then once that's done, we're going to move on to a thinner version which is going to go over the top. So you can see the product that we're using here now. This is Ardex WPC. I did a good bit of research on this, and apparently this is kind of the gold standard for this type of application. And, you know, I should think so as well, because it was actually quite expensive. But, you know, in terms of mixing and applying it, it is relatively simple. It comes in two parts. So you have a powder, like a cement-based powder, and then you have an adhesive waterproof-based kind of glue liquid we mix together. So for this layer, it's going to be much thinner, and we can just roll this straight on with a paint roller. So as you can see, nothing overly complicated here. It goes down really nicely. It dries reasonably quick, and once it does go off, it's going to make the floor completely 100% waterproof. So we basically have built several layers here. We have the cement and the battens below, we have the Aquapanel boards, and then we have this finish on top. And you know, right now this floor, once it's finished, is going to be absolutely 100% waterproof. So firstly, I put one coat on, and then following that, I'm going to put a second coat on. This dried pretty quickly, so I think I did this a few hours after the first coat. And as you can see, it goes down very nice and easily. And once it's done, you can see the finished job here. Now, this is still a little bit wet, and unfortunately, I didn't actually film it properly once it had fully dried, but you get the idea. The darker colour that you see on the skirting boards at the side, that's kind of the finished colour. It's kind of a dark grey. But yeah, this is something that I'm actually really happy with. You know, the floor now is fully waterproof, fully protected from any moisture inside the sauna. Really happy with how this turned out. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you're not already subscribed to the channel and you want to find out what happens with the rest of this sauna build, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video.